we're gonna build Enchantress. Alright. Black as a color was severely undervalued in 2025. In Premodern. Okay. Well, I was about to say I'm not sure I believe that, but I have to do Contraption for now because it's not fully supported yet, but I think they're going to do it. Alright. So I'm just going to copy Rich's list for now and then see. Well, I cannot predict anything right now. If you have suggestions, I might consider them, but I don't want to do that at the moment. Nice. Just Argothians. It also seems to me that it's extremely difficult to kill Argothian Enchantress in this format minus Diabolic Edict or Powder Keg. Alright, I have to find the Swiss Watcher's art I like, which is this one. Yeah, Engineered Plague. That's fine though. You have, I mean, you have 8 Enchantresses and only. I'm gonna use Foil 7. I don't really like the Dominator remastered one, even though it's exactly the same. What was I about to say? Yeah, there's only 4 creatures in your deck, generally speaking. I mean, I guess sometimes post-board you'll have the Zented Swarms in. A deck you could build in this format that I haven't seen ever is Squeak Confinement, which is a very old extended deck from about 2005. But there's probably a reason for that that I'm not thinking of. No Loam? It doesn't matter. Squeak Confinement, not Confinement Assault Loam. You have to listen to what I'm saying. Squeak Confinement is a different deck from the Cal. Cal is different from Squeak Confinement. Like, Squeak Confinement predates the Cal. It's part of the reason. Well, I would put a bunch of Surround Groves in my deck, like so. Mirri's Guile. Mirri's Guile is a decision. Mirri's Guile with Sense's Divining Top is home. Sense's Divining Top is like Hold My Beer, Mirri's Guile. Opalescence. Spelling is difficult, chat. I wonder if City of Solitude is better than Zented Swarm, actually. But yeah, there's one Trevis Ruin in the deck. That's the card you're referring to. Zented not getting annulled is a pretty big deal. Okay. That sounds reasonable, at least. Anyways, I'll probably be streaming a reasonable amount of Premodern in the next few weeks. Although, like, only one day per week, probably, but... I need to find the ones I like. Those are acceptable. Sunflowers. Oh wait, those are the actual alpha ones that are not able to be used. Wait, hold on. Let's find some nice ones. Okay, I guess these are the ones I use RL. I like these. And we'll use the We'll use these. The kangaroos. I like Great Wall as well. Sunflower Plains is also nice. 1 CC is important versus that. Makes sense. Oh, the other thing I find interesting is there's no Enlightened Tutor anywhere, not even for a Silver Bullet, but I guess that's sort of the notion that card disadvantage matters too much versus blue decks. Like the top deck tutors are bad versus blue decks in general. Although you could just like sideboard it. Like Sacred Ground plus E-Tutor makes sort of sense. Well, Sterling Grove is an E-Tutor that costs 3 instead of 1, so they're not really the same. But yes, I also agree that it's weird that there's not 4 Sterling Grove in this deck. So, fun fact is, a reasonable part of this, well, not a reasonable part, but like, about this card's modern legal, this card's modern legal, this card's modern legal. Which is sort of interesting to think about. Seal of Primordium's modern legal, not Seal of Cleansing, but that's sort of close. Oh yeah, I mean, Carpet of Flowers is a broken card. If you've ever played Legacy, you see that as well. The other thing I think this deck could do, even though it eats a lot of sideboard slots up and doesn't really dodge anything, is theoretically if you were bad versus like aggressive creature decks, you could sideboard into Oath. But I think the problem is that is the same axis that people want to attack you on. People are already trying to destroy your enchantments, so it's probably not good. But it's just something to think about. Alright. Quick rundown of the deck. This is really nostalgic for me personally. It's called Enchantress. You focus on the effects such as Argothian Enchantress and Enchantress's Presence. Both of these trigger when you cast an enchantment spell, draw a card. So you have a bunch of cheap enchantments, Exploration, Mirri, Guile, Wild Growth. So Cleansing is very good in this format because there's a shit ton of targets. Sylvan Library, it's another like engine card if you can't get Enchantress online. Strong Grove protects your enchantments, but also lets you put an enchantment card on top if you sacrifice it. This sort of fogs your opponent. Replenish is a broken magic card if people are trying to attack this. And Opalescence Parallax Wave, there's a combo if you have Presence out and you have Wave. You can wave all of their things, then wave your own wave. The wave will come back, then the other Parallax Wave triggers will resolve. So you can basically wrath them repeatedly if you have these two out. Sideboard, you have some like anti/hateful cards. Sacred Ground is for land destruction strategies. Confinement versus the aggressive strats. This is for any deck that has artifacts or enchantments, really. This is anti-blue. This is also anti-blue, and this is, I think this is also anti-blue, because you play a game that comes down to like decking, or you just want to shuffle your relevant cards back in and in. Oh, I don't think this should be that bad to play, but alright, let's go into the first match. Thank you for everyone being here. I win round 1 of Premodern League. Yes, no. So currently, it's in specialty listed this. but it might change at some point. Alright, 5-minute prediction. Get your gambles in. Again, thanks for everyone being here. Happy Thursday. I'm probably going to play a league. I'm probably going to leave around 2, maybe 1:30. Depends on where we are in the league. But thanks for everyone being here. If you enjoy the stream, hit that follow button. That's free to do. It does help support the stream. If you really want to support this stream and you have Amazon Prime, consider using it here. Thanks, everyone. Alright, waiting for the first match. Confetti. Full metals. It's windy outside. So it's a one-lander, but it's actually a pretty good one-lander. They take my Mirri's Guile, I'm in trouble. But I think I should keep and just assume the Guile's going to find me a third land. Especially on the draw, I think you should keep. I understand a lot of people just snap mulligan, but I think you're losing a lot of equity if you mulligan this hand. Because this hand's almost ideal otherwise. Hello. Duress Crew. Hello, MTG Banding. Who would mulligan and who would keep? I don't think it's a sneep. I think you should certainly think about it, but... Okay, well... This ended up not great, but I can still draw a land. Like, so basically you're 22 over 53 to hit a land in your first draw step. Then you're another 24% by turn 2. So 64%. They also might just take the Sylvan Library if they're a coward. Although I think that's erroneous. Had it. Okay, if you have a stop on my draw step... Oh, I should have played the Heath because of Wasteland. That was a mistake. I mean, yeah, it gives them information, but if I get wasted now, it's my own damn fault. Okay, Mishra's Factory, we're okay with that. So the question is, do I pretend they have Diabolic Edict here? I think I have to play the Enchantress first, even it's worse versus Edict for sure. But you're just sacrificing so much equity if you play the library first. Okay, well, that is a punish. That sucks. It is what it is. Okay. Well, I died a factory beatdown. Answer's probably not. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, you can right-click on the land to see which one was played this turn to make sure you're activating the correct one. Well, Mr. Bips, it's not about that. If I knew my opponent had 4 Edicts in their main deck, I would play library there and make them have to use them in on a different turn, if that makes sense. If you... What's the best way of putting it? You can, like, tax their mana, essentially, if you make them interact on a different turn. Okay, that's not ideal. But it should be fine. This is also something that just happens in other formats. You can, if you play carefully versus, like, Mana Leak or, like, Combustion Technique or whatever, by playing cards on an inconvenient turn for your opponent, you can tax their mana. So that's just something that you should think about in basically all formats. Okay, that's good. So, I don't think I want to take 8, but I think I want to take 4. Let's plan out the entire turn. I can play Mirri's Guile. Well, okay, I guess I can hide the Serra Sanctum, play Brush Twin, play Mirri's Guile, play Seal of Cleansing, which seems pretty good to me. I'll take 5 damage, should all be at 9, but they can't attack me with the factory this turn. And I want to use the Sanctum later to generate more mana, and this prevents a factory attack this turn. Well, I guess they can activate both now, but that's fine. Reborn Muse? Okay. So it's probably zombies. Sanctum, Wave, Grove. So I'll have access to 6 this turn. That's enough for Wave plus Grove. It would be, oh, I don't need the second wave, I guess. I guess I'll go to 5 and play both of these and wave their thing. To prevent a card draw. It also can't attack me. So upkeep, I can search for Enchantress's presence. Shuffles away the extra Parallax Wave. Can they beat Opalescence Grove Wave? Can't beat a wave. Well, they can therapy both of my things. You can activate factory to get the other thing. But oh, but I can stack my Strong Grove upkeep to go get Opalescence, which I might do. Because my top card is another Parallax Wave. First scroll. Okay. I'm gonna click no because I know the other cards. Alright, so what's the card we yes? Yes, tap this. There we go. Sorry I didn't talk it all the way through, but basically they will never get a creature to stick. That doesn't race me, I think. We win game 1. They did go to 5, but I think inherently this matchup seems good for me because I can top deck out of it pretty easily. League, Selesnya Enchantress. Smash 1. Is on the draw? Yeah. Monoblack. Okay. I will. I guess the extra removal is probably good. I'm sort of like pre-boarded versus them. I don't think I want extra confinements because I'm going to be low on resources. You could like theoretically make the case that if you cut all of your Argothians, they have no target for removal. I wonder if that's actually a good thing to do. It seems not great to me. You could board out Replenish, although you probably shouldn't do that because it's like your best possible card versus discard. In fact, I might want the extra Replenish. But the question is, what are you allowed to sideboard out, really? I don't really want to touch any of engine cards. I don't want to touch the acceleration in terms of exploration or wild growth. Boarding out the Argothian Enchantresses, if you board out all of them, does dead all of their Edicts and Innocent Bloods. But the question is, how many of those do they even have, right? If I knew my opponent had like 8+ of that type of card, especially in a post-board game, it would actually be pretty good to do that. Shave an Opalescence. Okay, I'm gonna shave an Opalescence. I'm not gonna shave a wave. I think I'm just... Is it crazy to cut the confinement? I guess it fogs for so many turns. Alright, against my better judgment, I'm going to cut an Argothian, but I'm really not sure, and I will freely admit that. Okay, this hand is actually a mulligan. This hand is so much worse than the other hand I kept. Like, basically, the Mirri's Guile bridged in the other hand, and this Exploration does not bridge. So I'm just going to ship. 2 more Dystopias. Okay, good to know. This strikes me as a keep. I guess Dystopia is actually pretty strong versus me, huh? But I'm gonna bottom Opalescence. Actually, I could bottom second Exploration. Maybe that's better. Well, so if I expected Engineer Plague, that's sort of one of the reasons I did want to board out all of the Argothians, but it's sort of cowardly to do that. No, I think I am gonna bottom Opalescence. I'm gonna play Wild Growth on 1 off of Forest, targeting my Forest. And then turn 2, drawing a different land might actually be good. That's not bad. I'm not convinced Gloom is actually very good versus me, actually, to be quite fair, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, I mean, this is is like super safe from them, right? They could wasteland me, but then I'll have like 2 more draws next turn. Seems like they should have gone to 5 again. You can pay 3, right? I mean, realistically, my plan versus Gloom would be to draw a Serra Sanctum and be able to use it. Yeah, fair enough. But they didn't do anything with 2 last turn. Yeah, so this seems pretty likely. Alright. So if I draw a different land, it's better to play Wild Growth on it so I can get like a rebate back. An auto yield. I didn't. Still gonna. Okay, nice. I don't have any white at the moment, and they did tag my Sanctum, but it should be fine. Right now I wish these were Utopia Sprawls because I would have put one on white for sure. Bottomless pit. Okay. Nice. I did not want that one. Wild Growth my untapped land. Putting 2. So I think I'm just gonna crack for a second Enchantress's Presence right now with the 1 floating. Because I think basically versus Bottomless Pit, having double Presence is almost unbeatable for them. Discarded Diabolic Edict. Scoreboard, chat. Scoreboard. Okay. And like, this is even good. Doesn't seem good. Hashtag paid. No cowards here. Chat, did I mention we? Okay, I'm kept on line drops now. That's fine. Oh, I should have played the Opalescence. It's no big deal though. I was too busy clicking buttons. I wonder if I can actually lose if all my things get discarded. I guess I can just let this go, and I have the Sylvan going, so it should be fine. Look at all of that removal, chat. I think, honestly, you should just board out your Argothians now they've seen their configuration, but... Okay, well, they conceded. If I had played out the Opalescence that turn, it actually would have been 0% for them. Because I don't think there are many black sweepers besides, like, Bane of the Living. Is Bane of the Living the only one? I'm gonna start another prediction for round 2. If people want to gamble channel points. Alright, nice. We are 100% in our first Premodern League with Enchantress, an old throwback favorite deck of mine. Stop the count. No, I'm gonna keep going. I'm actually gonna use the restroom for 3 minutes. We'll be back in 3 and run a quick ad. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you all. Be right back in 3 minutes. Come back. We're going to match 2. We have 330 points on yes. I will win round 2. 0 on no. Anyone want to bet 10 points on no to get the bet to fire? Hope deuce. 37. So I only have 2 lands for my presence, but I'm on the draw. An exploration on 1. Seems like I should keep. Second plow is not ideal. I guess if they're creature deck, the second plow is actually pretty good, but... Okay. Is it just a creature on 1? Phyrexian Arena. Okay, well, it's less good for me. What's with all the black decks? I'm gonna fetch a force and play Mirri's Guile and assume it'll work itself out. I need a 3rd land anyways. The black decks are kind of sick. Yo, Dylan, what's up? How's fantasy going for you? Looked like pretty well the last time I checked. The rest, so you can take one of these too. Made across the board. I'm doing well in the one league I'm in with Seth. I beat Seth last week, even though it was the same day he won Worlds, so that's problematic. So, yes. Oh, I'm kind of fucked now. Alright, well, probably gonna lose this one. I want to draw Opalescence, I guess. My least valuable card. Wait, can I control Z? I can't. Oh, Seth definitely used up all of his luck in Worlds. Although, it's actually debatable because he won all of his matches in top 8 3-0. Withered Wretch. Oh, that makes Replenish worse as an out. Okay. This is how it has to be. I mean, yes, I obviously chose to fetch a forest to play the Guile, but Monoblue Storm next. Maybe one thing that I will offer is if people want, there's a Discord first off, but I will probably accept donation requests from people to play decks at some point. But there's a channel for that in my Discord. But I'm also happy to just talk about Magic with people. This can go and this can go. Kind of fucked. Okay. I guess it has to be like this. I guess the Argothian not being dead's kind of nice. Maybe I can keep pace, but I might just be too far behind by this point. I mean, Dark Ritual does seem like one of the better cards in the format, actually. No blocks. Oh, that's not good for me. I'm dead as fuck. I wish they're not killing me very fast, but... And so far they've not been able to remove this Argothian, which is good for me. So there's a chance I can get out of this still. Their clock is a single BB22, which is also a cleric for Cabal Archon. Okay, that's kind of good, actually. Is it too late? Maybe. I don't know. But I'm certainly killing this Phyrexian arena. I wonder how many plows are in their hand. Probably like at least one, maybe two. If I win this game, it's kind of sickening if I win this game, I guess. But... Alright. 11. Okay, Mirri's Guile. Yes. So the problem with playing Opalescence is I believe it's going to die 100%. Well, maybe I'm supposed to do it anyways. Well, no, then exactly do I want to handle this? So what do I need to not be dead? Both my plows and my main deck are gone. Hello, Max. I'm 1-0 in this league. I'm also down to record some like Premodern duels with people at some point, probably. Okay, my top 3, yes. Okay, so I think what I want to do is this. I hope I can pop off next turn. I mean, yeah, I'll be dead soon, but theoretically, a bunch of thought casts or like single mana draw 2s might be sufficient. Especially since I can play 2 lands. But we'll see what happens. I mean, certainly, I can also chump that for a turn, I guess. Shade. Let's go off to the back. Once we get your bearings. So I cast that and draw 2 lands. Then I have to block there and there, so I'm dead. That sucks. I feel like I ran kind of bad in that game, but it is what it is. Okay, I think versus Withered Wretch, I don't want Replenish. You could play Sacred Ground versus Vindicate. It's not that good because also that loses to Withered Wretch. So I guess it's just third Plow and sideboard nothing else. That might be like over-indexing on Withered Wretch, but I sort of think the matchup is probably fine. Yes, this hand's excellent, actually. Max, believe it or not, I have a reasonable idea of what happens in this format because it reminds me a lot of like 2003 extended-ish. Although there are some significant differences, of course, but this is like Enchantress is one of my favorite decks of all time, especially versions with exploration. Although I guess this is probably not well known. The exploration rule used to be very different. Namely, with Words of Wind, every time you played exploration, you could basically get a an extra land drop every time you played the exploration. But it's probably for the best that it doesn't work like that anymore. Well, I had a hand with 2 Enchantresses, so I can't mulligan. I could have played another land out, actually. I was holding the fetch for Mirri's Guile, but now I think if I draw a Guile, I just want to cast it. That's good. I want to save my fetch for the Sylvan, probably. This was actually Rich's Selesnya list from whatever tournament he won, so I have great respect for Rich. I've known him for a very long time. Actually, most of my Power 9 is from his unlimited set that he sold to me because he was upgrading to beta. That sucks. Okay, now I guess I'll just thin my deck. Now I guess if they have Druids Verdict, I would rather they just only get one card. Oh, cool! Didn't know that. Nice. It seems pretty good to me, honestly. I mean, obviously I'm not. That's unfortunate. Obviously, I don't play like 9,000 matches of Premodern, but I have a good idea of Enchantress from the old days and other formats, so. How many green sources do I want to leave on top? Probably the forest. Actually, should I just tap the Sanctum? Most of my 1-mana spells are green. So I'm actually just going to tap the Sanctum even though I'm sacrificing some mana, obviously. Hello, Cody DGA. Am I just going to draw a bunch of green cards in a row? I'm actually not going to play this. If they discard spell me, if they Gerard's Verdict to me, it's worse. No, if they... I guess... There's actually no punish for holding this, really. I might just want to hold this as like a Black Lotus or some nonsense. Wow. Okay. It's worse for Gerard's Verdict because they gain 3, but I don't think the gain 3 actually matters. Do I want to yield? Do I want to auto yield? Probably not. That's good. So Opalescence doesn't do much. I might just get another presence and assume I can win at some point. What's in their hand that, like... What can we deduce? Maybe extra discard. Like, Cabal Therapy makes sense. Opal removes their arena. Yeah, but I sort of am afraid of the notion if I run out of cards. Well, maybe that doesn't matter. Okay, I think this is a judgment call. I'm gonna get a second presence, but of course you could sell me on the other thing. I could also get Mirri's Guile, actually. That's sort of intriguing. I could also just get Seal of Cleansing and kill that. Tough. I don't actually know. I think this is like a really hard decision, actually. Alright. My gut says in presence, but I'm not really... I guess I don't really have any strong reason to claim that that's correct. That's probably the best way of putting it. Okay, that's bad. Okay. Well, that did not work out well for me. Okay, they don't have a disenchant, because I think you would disenchant that 100% of the time. So what's in their hand? I guess it's just mono discard. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that makes sense, because they didn't want to vindicate these. Okay, that's good. That's really good, actually. Okay, next turn we can probably pop all the way off, really. They played Cabal, sorry, a Withered Wretch and a Hypnotic in game 1, so it's closer to, like, Deadguy, I think. Can I draw my deck if I get that? I could also get Sterling Grove, actually. Because, I mean, it's weird to Sterling Grove for Sterling Grove, but it also gives all my things Shroud. I have 3 presences. Alright, I'll just get the Grove. It looks really weird to do this, but I think it's actually correct. Kappa, Ancestral Recalls. It's like standard where there's a million Ancestral Recalls, right, chat? For cards, that should be plenty if I'm careful. Pegolaf, indeed, put Pegolaf. Sure. Okay, so I have to be careful of not decking. Alright, my phone doesn't want to play anymore. I don't know how to enable the emote. I'm too boomer for that. I'm sorry, Old Bay. So, do I know you, Old Bay? I mean, obviously that's a very Maryland-centric name. It's a bit. No engine card. Plenty of lands. If I had one engine card, I would obviously keep. The second Sanctum's kind of bad, so we'll just avoid. I think on 6 you should just keep in bottom exploration if it works out for you. I'm always with this shit. I guess I do have 2 Seal Cleansing, but I don't even want to play this out because I would have to fetch green for it, and I want to Seal Cleansing that ASAP. that's bad. Okay, well I guess they're gonna stick that for a while. I want to hold this in case if I draw an Enchantress still. I don't think playing it out does very much. So fucking dead. The fast mana cards seem so much better than a lot of the cards in this format. Like Mox Salmon and Dark Ritual both seem like power outliers. That's Exalted Angel. What if it was Headhunter instead? Chat. Also, who here knows what Headhunter does without looking it up? Okay, what are the creature types on Headhunter? I'm dying this game. Okay, well, that's a start. Wow, it was an Exalted Angel, chat. Who would have fucking guessed? Alright, whatever. Find this out. They've already used all 4 duresses. If they draw Cabal Therapy, it'll suck, but that's fine. I actually need to, like, overpower them complete this game. But hopefully the rest of their hand's bad. That's a really good draw, actually. First land. Oh, I should have footed white, actually. Oh, fuck me. This, it's so much worse. Hmm. I have 0 Replenish in my deck. I guess I can just do this, actually. I was supposed to foot white and just replay my thing. Okay. So go. Floating away would have been a lot better because, well, I guess it sort of works out the same. Okay. Maybe I should just leave in 1 Replenish for this reason. It might be illegal to just cut all my Replenishes. Another arena. Okay. not gonna put my land out. I think it's safe for next turn because I might need it. I like their graveyard. 4 duress, 3 disenchant. Okay. That's somewhat bad for me. Am I just never gonna draw another green source? Another angel. Okay. This did not work out great so far. Save Breast does seem better than Tainted Field. So now I have to draw confinement into a bunch of things. I feel like I got unlucky that game, but obviously I could have made different decisions. Might be a little bit of both. Alright, going to match 3. The prediction's up. Well, I almost came out of it, you saw that. But then all of my green sources died. So it's 2-2. Okay. A little bit slow in the draw, but I'm gonna keep. Blue deck, okay. Guess you got me. This one, but I'm gonna just keep jamming spells. It's not like waiting really helps me very much, unless if I knew for a fact that they were missing land drops. So is this Dreadnought? On a blue tide? Okay. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh boy. That's really not good. I'm kind of fucked, aren't I? Actually, it might be Chain of Vapors verse, with the reasoning that Chain of Vapors is their only way to like interact with that. If you split, you cannot put counterspell in the same pile of Chain of Vapor because then they'll just chain that counterspell. So it might be better to do this actually. So I'm gonna do this. Okay, they discard both the Chain of Vapors. I assume this is the matchup for Xanted Swarm and Carpet. And maybe even Guy's Blessing. Probably Guy's Blessing as well. And you just cut off the plows, the confinements, and probably Parallax Wave because it doesn't matter. Keg. Okay, it doesn't kill that. That's the AK I gave them, so they still have Impulse and Counterspell. Well, I'm still gonna cast it. Yeah, it makes sense to hold all of your counter spells for just replenishes and opalescences, but maybe they'll do something they shouldn't. Well, that's like, it's assuming you can draw all of your counter spells for that before I get to all of those, right? I'm just gonna let the confinement die. I don't think it matters very much. There's a tide. Interesting. So they're just only going after my green sources. So do they have a Stifle in their main deck? My assumption is yes, if this is the plan. 3 to 4 copies. Mother F. I'm just not gonna get my green sources back, huh? Well, 2 of the Chain of Vapor are in the graveyard, yeah, but... Is this fun? I don't know, you ask me. Or you decide. Pay for it. Are we having fun? It's fine. I wish I weren't so capped out in green, but it is what it is. Do you want to ban wave as well? What's up with the people who have never played the format bagging it? I'm so confused. Anyway, what's up? What does bagging it mean here? This matchup does not seem good in game 1. So they still have counterspell in hand. Okay, that burnt their counterspell. I know Stifle, I get my lands back. I think maybe I'm okay, but it depends exactly what they have here. Impulse, sure. The Sylvan Library has been doing heavy lifting, as well as the Parallax Wave preventing me from dying. Was I in the draw this game? It feels like I was in the draw. It was. Okay. Quicksand, sure. Okay. Okay. Okay, so they're just tapping out completely. If I only wave the Fairy Conclave, they won't have counterspell mana on my turn. So I would be at 1, but that should be fine, right? Whereas if I wave that, they would have Leak. Or maybe it's okay for them to have Leak. One's kind of scary. Okay, I think I'll just be at 3 instead of 1, just for ease of mind. That's good. sort of clicking buttons. Alright, so I can sack this, get my Sanctum back, and 2 planes. Okay, sure. Attach the ores. Okay. Okay, 1-game-1. It's kind of a slugfest. Not convinced I did everything correctly, but it worked itself out. I eventually just ran them out of counters. I wonder how often that happens. Okay. This can go. This doesn't seem great. What am I allowed to sideboard out? I really don't have idea. I can cut 5 cards. Grove? Okay. That makes sense to me. They don't really target my stuff. Exploration, really? Well, the plows already went. Yeah, I don't want to board out acceleration unless you have a very good reason for wanting to board it out. Mostly because that is the type of effect you're usually weakest on, it seems to me. Yo, thanks for the Prime sub. If you don't have Prime sub, consider using it here. Just a reminder. Well, I need to cut 3 cards still, and I don't know what to cut. Oh, Aura of Silence makes sense, yeah. But what do I cut? Wild Growth? I guess Carpet and Wild Growth are the same card, except Carpet is Wild Growth plus 1,000,000. Dirty Tide player. So, if you're a Parallax Tide player, shouldn't you be clean because you should be washed by all of the islands? Just food for thought. Alright, I'm gonna keep. Wild Growth could never do this. Oh, Xantid Swarm, yes. 4, 4. I think it's just better for me to... Oh, funny. Okay. Could have waited to earn that, but I do actually want to use my mana. Next turn. Alright. Nice. Now I won't do anything else. The anti-blue package in this deck does seem pretty extreme. Like, the Xantid Swarms, the Carpets, and the Guy's Blessings seem really, really good to me. This is Disc. that's not my favorite, but... So they have a stifle 100% of the time here. Oh, I should have attacked with this first because of days, but they didn't have it. But they could have. Oh, they didn't have Stifle. Oh no, they do have Stifle. Okay. So they Armageddoned me. They could Dust Bowl my Sanctum, which is not my favorite. But also, well, I guess them tapping out doesn't matter. I mean, as long as I find lands and cheap enchantments, it should be fine. So we have 4. Should be fine. I'll just jump with my Argothian if they attack with both. If they attack with one, rather. It's kind of sad that I have to, but it's fine. Okay, this is worse than just attacking. Oh no, they can put it to 1. Never mind. This is not worse. This is fine. Did I board out confinement? I think I did. I did. Okay. I'm down 1 Sanctum. This might not be the easiest scenario to get out of, but it should be fine. No problem. In fact, I appreciate it a great deal, Mr. Bips. I did remind everyone a few times, though, but it's fine. Yeah. So, the reason not to attack is I want to block with my Xanted Swarm this time. Oh! Oh my god, I was supposed to play the Swarm, but fortunately my deck paid me. That was basically a huge punt. Guess I'm dead to that. That's sad. I wonder if I was too aggressive on the life. I guess I was, but maybe it'll be fine for game 3. Probably threw that one somewhere. What? Okay. I mean, I still don't think I want the Swords to Plowshares. They don't do very much. The confinement's like kind of dog shit. Yeah, I'll just submit. Well, thank you for the kind words. I try my best. I mean, I play a reasonably large amount of Magic, frankly, so I feel like I have good insights. Play a reasonable amount of almost every format. Well, almost. But yeah, I'm gonna go see a movie later around 4:50, so that's why I'm gonna leave in a bit to do some other stuff. This makes sense. It's like a pretty clean sideboard swap to do this. Fucking Parallax Tide Stifle thing is so egregious. Yeah, I mean, sure. This is like 40% to have a really good draw in the play. If I miss for one turn, it's fine. His Enchanted Swarm is really strong versus him. I guess I'll reluctantly keep, but I understand why you would mulligan. This hand would unironically be like almost unbeatable in the draw, I think, because you go from 40% to 64% by having your second land on turn 2. Alright, had it. It's actually better to do it this way, to use all my mana and swip things under the counters before my thing dies to fucking powder keg. Like, they're probably going to keg the swarm so they can use their counter spells. But I'm already like, my shot, I've already set up shop pretty well on turn 3 versus their board. So I think it should be a relatively straightforward W. Okay. How many annul does the Tide deck have? 4 in their sideboard? Unironically, annul is really strong in standard as well, so kind of funny to think about it. Just annul is the GOAT. That's really good. Guess you got me. That's probably fine. Like, I can't imagine that actually matters. 0 days. Okay, 3 is average. Yeah, You ever cast a null on a 4-drop, it feels so fucking broken. So I want to find Seal of Cleansing this turn if possible. But probably won't be. Though if I find Sarah's Sanctum, that might be good enough actually. Interesting. One anymore? Yes, yes, yes. Stifle me out of the game. Well, you don't want to stifle the Fate Encounter. You want to stifle this trigger. I don't know if that's salt or not, or if these are actually classic games for this matchup. Might be, might not be. Alright. I did in fact get that much, but no one gambled this time. Okay, going to round 4. Prediction up. I'm going to use the restroom for 3 minutes. Be right back. That was kind of a long one. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you all. Hope you all are having a good Thursday. Be right back in 3 minutes. Alright, I'm back. Going to the next match of predictions up. Feel free to gamble channel points. We're on match 4 of my first pre-modern league on MTGO. Against Will. So I don't have an Enchantress, but I have 2 Mirri's Guiles, which can dig for 1, so I'm going to keep. That is not what I want to see. It's, stasis, I think. Oops. That. So I have the correct number of cards in hand. Yes, I'm gonna put those on top. So I want to do this. They might stasis me, but maybe I can slip out of it. Tangle wire. That's not good. Hoping for a land. That's okay. No, I don't want to use the second Mirri Guile to waste time. How is this matchup? I guess Carpet Flower seems incredibly broken here. I guess I would treat it the same as I did the last matchup, honestly. Almost. Oh, Rutabaga. Metalworker? Wait. Is this not stasis then? Hello? Can anyone explain what's happening here? I wasn't planning on it. No offense. Monoblue Tinker? I guess, maybe, I'm not sure. In any case, I'm gonna put this on the stack and see what happens. Well, I'm not really planning on them letting tap the Metalworker. I don't know if you realize that. In fact, I don't even want to take damage from the black place. Why would I let them have Metalworker, Dylan? That seems like letting them have fun when I don't need to let them have fun. Play or draw this game. I've lost all 4 die rolls, 1, 2, 1, currently. Monoblue Metalworker with black twice and tangle wire. So does anyone have any explanation for what's going on? Tinker Mud. Okay, that... I haven't seen Urza's blueprints in so many fucking years, but I bet I can kill them this turn. Or effectively kill them. This Argothian Enchantress being effectively a mana rock is super nice. Okay. Doesn't matter, I'm gonna draw a shit ton of cards, right? Oh, you've never played with that card? Versus Wounds is definitely a magic card. Not as boomer as me. That's debatable. Three cards, please. Good. Also really good, actually. That's over the line, Weiserg. You know it was over the line. Oh, does that demod you? Oh, it does. Timing you out demods you. Good to know. I'll remod you. Will I deck out? Probably not. Is it theoretically possible? Of course. So am I supposed to play around stasis? By leaving this? I guess I am. I'm just gonna let them have the blueprints. It costs them Echo 6 anyways. I mean, it doesn't really cost me much to keep the Seal of Cleansing around, right? Like, I'm not convinced I could... Like, what if they just fucking play Ensnaring Bridge or some nonsense? I'm just gonna keep this for one turn, then I have this plus this next turn, so... Okay, so probably don't need another presence, that can go. Probably don't need that, probably don't need that. Don't need that. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is real garbage time, chat. Also, the good thing about discarding all those enchantments is you can replenish them back and not deck yourself, which is maybe a mild concern, but I don't think it's actually a concern. Like, theoretically, there's a chance they're like Altar of Dementia, Phyrexian Devourer combo, and keeping the seal around breaks that up, right? Like, sealing their blueprints does nothing, I think. Whereas this gives you insurance, just in case if something bad happens to you. Right. Plows are good versus Metalworker, so I probably want them. Confinement seems like it does not very much. This team is very good. These... Maybe I want the carpets, but not the Xantid Swarms. I'll shave like one Wild Growth. So I'll have one swarm in, just demise. Seal and Aura seem very good versus them, so I guess I reluctantly keep. I mean, this is like not the most insane hand, but it also seems pretty good versus them, frankly. Sky Diamond. Okay. Oops. Need to top 2 white. There we go. This reminds me of Finkel's deck from that one Worlds. What are they getting? Phyrexian Colossus? Phyrexian Processor? Jester's Cap? Oh. Wait. But I have an Opalescence in my hand, so it doesn't fucking matter. do fetch. So what did they cap? Opalescence cleansing. That makes sense. So they know this should be here or it got boarded out. But it's fine. Discuss this. Stroke of Genius for 2. Wow, their deck is heinous. That is not a card that has aged well at all. Imagine tapping 5 mana to draw 2. They really are a rebuild of like Finkel's old deck from that year. I don't think there's anything good to tinker for. They're just cards are all dog shit. Like, this is not like vintage, where if you cast tinker, your opponent actually dies. Yo, what up, Jay Corey? Hope you're doing well. I'm just beating my opponent down this game. Nice black vice, by the way. Alright. So this is an attack for 8. I'm just gonna sandbag the seal in case I find an Enchantress or something weird happens. Alright, I'm 3-1 so far. But yeah, I'll probably put this league up on YouTube when I have time. I just have had basically no time to myself. Alright, going into the last match of this week with Selesnya Enchantress. Prediction up for the 4-1. Feel free to gamble. Gamble some channel points. Yo, y'all want to see some real wild shit right here? I'm just clicking on lists. Look at Nether Spirit. Why is there a sideboard Bloodfire Colossus? Is the real question. Is the Tinker Balder deck in Premodern? That's a question I'm not capable of answering. But like, look at this. This is so weird to look at. This is actual Sly. This is your nothing pox. This is some Orzhov control deck. We got 20 on yes, 10 on no. I'm going to give a few more seconds. I'm just clicking Rexer. Ooh, Reanimator, huh? This is interesting. Although, that's a deck that should be called Moneyball. But for anyone who wants to look, this is the MTGO 5.0 list so far. Feel free to click. It's sort of interesting to look at. It basically updates every hour or so if someone 5.0s. Haunting Echo, holy fuck. That is some real throwback shit. Alright, going to match 5 now. Get your gambles in. $2K versus $1K now. We got some real gambling afoot. Lowest of gambling on no. Hardcore. Classic lowest. But yeah, expect to see a reasonable amount of Premodern over the next few weeks. Holy Shamgar. Don't have an Enchantress, but think this is borderline keepable. What does Gemstone Mine Go mean? I don't know. I'm sort of scared. Don't have Devourer. Oh, you lost to Abestein? Okay. Missouri. This looks like... Can someone link the Tinker Devourer deck? You know what they say, information is king. So if I get to look at the Devourer deck, it's kind of helpful. Okay. It does appear to be Devourer, yeah. That's sort of good. Okay, so assuming this finds me Enchantress, I might be okay by next turn. But we'll see. Can they kill me next turn from this board? Let me work it out. Doesn't seem like it. It seems like they need a minimum of 5 mana to kill me. You need Tinker for Devourer plus Fling, right? Oh, that is 5. But you also need an artifact to set up with, right? That's great. Okay. I can set up altar. Well, but I can put confinement into play and pass, right? That's not good. So presumably I'm dead next turn. Is there a way to get out of this? I can only draw 1 card. So I can draw with a Sterling Grove, play it, say go, and then what? Okay. Oh, Tendrils is banned? That explains a lot, actually. So how player draw this game? I don't even remember. Let me check real quick. Draw. Okay, so I literally lost 5 draw. 5 die rolls in a row. Okay, so what they can do is they can tinker away their defense grid for altar. Okay, maybe they don't have the Devourer. Okay, so I think I have to let that die, sadly. I'm dead now. Oh well. Okay. You have it, you have it. I want to see their entire deck. Okay, so they have Oath as well. Interesting. Good to know. Okay, cool. So they are Teamer. Oath. Is the Oath thing pretty stock? Stock. Okay. Interesting. The plows don't seem very good to me. Gaia's Blessing beats Altar at least, so I'll have those 2 in. And I'll cut. I'm gonna do. I think this is what I'm gonna do. It's just that Confinement makes them have to do a lot. Confinement can buy a bunch of turns at least. 60-40 for no oath. Got it. Thank you, Biomancer. You've been very helpful today. Okay. Decent. So I can go turn 1, fetch, exploration, Enchantress. I just want to not draw lands. Really? War of the Spark kicked you out of Legacy. Oh, so you're that type of boomer, huh? I'm memeing a little bit. But in the end, it didn't even matter, right? That's nice. Impulse off of your fucking lotus petal. Holy shit. Yeah, it's my work computer that I'm not on work today, so but I didn't turn it off. I'm sorry, Zervis. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not intending to do that. Lord of Silence. What do I want to do this turn? Having exactly 5 is really annoying. Alright, I'm gonna just play Enchantress's Presence. Like this. Go. The question is if I feed this confinement this turn. I don't know. I'm sorry! What do y'all want for... I can't believe it was that loud. Okay, sure. Oath can't target me, right, when I have confinement out? True Believer, yeah. What do I want to discard? Probably one of these double white cards. Probably Opalescence, honestly. No lands somehow. Fascinating. Alright, I'll say go. That should be sufficient to kill them. I'm gonna have unlimited white now, so I should do it this way. Okay, won game 2, going to game 3 versus Teamer Devourer combo with Oath. With Oath of Druids. They have Tinker and Oath in their deck. Does Parallax Wave even do anything? I don't think it does. I'm just gonna cut it for Wild Growth, actually. This is a very weird matchup. Boarded into 61, huh? Yeah, okay. I think my deck is more stable than theirs, but theoretically their deck should be a lot more explosive. Mindstone. Classic Mindstone. Oh, I should have played Wild Growth, actually. That was bad. But hopefully will not be punished. We'll see, though. Okay, never punished. Okay, next turn I should be able to grow for confinement and lock it up. What's up, Xenoon? This is the last match of the league, but... Do they have Fling? I guess they have Fling in hand, so with one turn too slow. That sucks. I wonder if I could have closed one more turn. No. So they turn forward me. I should have sealed the pedal. Yeah, I didn't realize it. That was definitely a goof. Well... Yeah, no, I should have sealed the pedal. That was bad. I think that was just a mistake. Probably try a different deck next time I stream. I don't know when that'll be. Maybe on Sunday? Maybe not. I'm not sure yet. I think I am gonna go for now, so thanks for everyone being here. It was a lot of fun to try this deck out. Some real nostalgia. Of course, everything wasn't perfect the first time around, but I think most of my decision making was relatively good. But next time we'll try to do even better with a different deck, probably. Alright, on the way out, I'm going to raid Rainy the Witch, so say hi to Rainy for me. And peace, y'all. I'll be back at some point.